Um, they had an amazing sighting, and we're going to look at two parts of that. Both were recorded by Bandit. Thank you very much, Bandit, for that. And it was just from a visual aspect, from the fact that they walked into the clearing. It was also a lot of fun because we actually tracked them earlier. Rexon came in and said that one of the guys had seen lions crossing or tracks crossing, and we looked around and we checked the block and we looked for them, and eventually we knew roughly where they'd crossed, and we went into the bush. And it was a bit of a lucky, sometimes lucky and brilliant is sort of the same thing. It depends on which way you look at it. We just saw a little bit of something through the grass, and we found them in this area. And those of you that joined us on the day will certainly remember it, and I'm sure will like to relive it. Those of you that didn't join us on the day are going to be very happy that you're seeing it tonight, because it was just exceptional. It was beautiful. We followed them at one stage. Well, I don't need to tell you. We can look at it just now. Let's look at the next part, and then we'll talk about the Nkumas more.
Look at the concentration of, look at that male behind there, he's big, eh? He's coming slowly behind. What a wonderful pride. We're in a perfect position. If I look at all the pride, according to individuals, if you look at the fights, some of the young male lions is showing that they will be very, very big once before. Even the female themselves, look at the way they look. It's amazing. Coming direct towards the camera. That is beautiful. Having the very good, the interesting fact with this pride here, they're all halfway on, looking, coming direct towards the Jika. Wonderful. It's beautiful. Amazing. Yeah, this one. Having big mane. Sometimes you may interested, although you know that lion's dangerous, you may attempt to come down and try to pet this animal the way they look. Healthy. It's really amazing. Look at this. What a wonderful.
Yeah.
With this young male here. The one that was limping about 3-4 months back. Like this one, it will be the big one on the pride itself. So it's always at the back. It's always trying to lick its wound on the back itself. You can see that he was nearly killed by lion. Check, look there. It's building all the time. Beat in battle from other. Sorry, that was loud. Probably guys, we are enjoying Huma pride here. It's not windmill pride.
So we've got smaller sticks on the fire tonight, so you've got to put them in more often to keep burning. Yeah, I guess I love it when I get stuck like this. I'm sure you guys don't, but sometimes there's various things I want to say at the same time. One of the things I will learn as I get more experienced, I guess, in showing and talking about some of these highlights is that quite often I don't need to say too much about it afterwards. But that was an absolutely lovely sighting. So many aspects. For those of you that like taking videos or taking pictures or stills, I was quite happy to be on the video camera that day and not having my still camera there as well, although I would have loved to have photographed that because they were walking in such an amazing line. The aspect ratio, and because we were sitting a bit lower than them, it all worked so incredibly well from a visual point of view as well. Also the fact that they walked right past us. I mean, quite a few of them you couldn't actually see as they walked past the front of the car. So it was an absolutely amazing sighting, and I saw in the chat room there now a couple of people saying their hearts were pounding as it was happening, and certainly the same was for us. And that's one of the things I've mentioned often with Rexon. One of the things I really love about Rexon and going out and drive with him still, I mean, I've known Rexon for coming up in a decade now. Rexon has been working and living in the bush for a very long time, and he still gets excited. It's one of the things I really admire about him, but also just, I guess, because I have it in common with him as well. But that excitement, I absolutely adore it about Rexon. And he was, a big smile on his face, really loving it, seeing the lions. Is the smoke too much? Can you still see me through it?
Perfect.
There's a gap.
Nice visual effect.
There's one. Yeah, smoking at the back end of the one branch. So it was a brilliant sighting, and there I go talking too much about what we just looked at. But it was also a nice day to see the Nkuhumas, just the way they moved, the confidence in them, those young males. I mean, keep in mind that these lions really have been through massive traumatic experiences. A lot more than half the pride have been wiped out by the Mapogos over time. And obviously, lions being as social as they are, would have been in the thick of things, the ones that still survive today. So, an incredible story there. It's going to be interesting to know what happens to those 3 young males as they mature. They're beautiful males, absolutely gorgeous. You can clearly see the genetics of I'd like to say both Dozy and Blondie in there, but certainly Blondie. That one male has just got a lovely mane, and yeah, I look forward to hopefully being able to see them when they reach 4, 5, 6 years old, when they really come into their sort of prime as well. On that same day, and I know that many of you also enjoy and watch the waterhole at Nkoro, we were actually at that same place looking at the lions, and as we were following them sort of straight away, we ended looking at them just now. As we were following them into the bush, I looked up and there was just this like sort of plume or column of smoke coming out quite at an angle because it was quite windy, and I could actually make out the radio mast next to it, and I told Rex that's a fire at Nkoro. Obviously the way it wasn't a bushfire, and subsequently heard the radio call, and it was quite a big fire, and they were asking for whoever could help. And I think it's one of those things. I mean, in the early days of WildEarth, there was a big fire here that we fought for almost the whole day and night. But anything that happens like that, I think it is maybe a privilege, but it's also our duty to get involved. It is something that us as humans should do, standing together under crises. So I decided to go and help. As much as I thought it would be under control, you never know. Extra pair of hands could always be handy. And so during all this amazing lion stuff, and when we followed the lions more, they were lying next to us. They were on the hunt and moving around. We quickly mobilized the whole pride here at the camp as well. Herman was directing, and Sapir was helping him, and Lishan got out of, she wasn't in bed anymore, but she was around that side, and they jumped in the jigger, and it was everything going on in the lions and the whole story. And we quickly changed around, and we went off to Nkoro, which luckily, just in case you didn't know the outcome of that, it was a fire in the workshop, so a lot of equipment and things lost, but no humans were injured or no lives, and everything should be fine and recovered from it afterwards. But the lions kept on moving along, and as soon as Rexon got back there with Lishan on camera, they saw them in the next. There's some words that I still need to learn how to use better, but epic setting, maybe even iconic, the way they were on the termite mound, and just the visual aspect of it was amazing. It was like postcards. And Rexon was talking. I don't need to say too much about what was happening. You'll hear some of it from Rexon again. And that was the next part. So from the same day, 1st of September, Spring Day as we call it here in South Africa. And enjoy the next view. It was a phenomenal one.
Meet you down on the other side. Hello, boss. Hello, good. We have a question from Debbie. Debbie from Final Controls. People read the question. It reads in this way: when the male get to develop a full mane or get to full adult male, as you can see, these young males are all still young. The other one probably is this one. It's really having beautiful set of a mane. A full adult male will get to at least somewhere 5 years. And look at these boys here. I'm more than, if I'm not mistaken, how long I've been here? Well, 2 years now. I might be 2.5 years. Really, it's time for this pride to young males to get moved away from the mothers. But because of the stress that they have, it's not easy for a pride to move out. They have to develop a very strong faith for themselves first,